Okay, YouTube says we're live. Well, it flickered for a second. That was weird. That might have been your monitor connection, though. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the JH Show. Today, it is me, Jaden, and Cohen. Just a friendly reminder before we start, I figured we'd put this at the start instead of the end. If you've got questions for us, we will happily answer them on the podcast. Hit us up on Twitter and Reddit, and email us at thejhshowpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. As Cohen dies.
As Cohen's dying. All right. Don't die, Cohen. We need you.
Another crit fail on drinking.
Yeah.
That happens all too often.
Still have 2 more seasons with the JH Show. You contracted to. No, can't die yet. No, just kidding.
There goes my triplet laugh.
Yeah. So,
What happens when I don't lean back when I laugh?
it'll still be picked up a little
Yeah,
bit.
we're right. I shouldn't do it right in the mic. Oh well.
Just eat the mic, Jordan, next time you do it. And, next time,
I'm good, thanks.
just inhale the mic and laugh.
Their video of somebody like deep throating a mic. It was a Vine.
I'll show you. It's funny.
I want to hear that.
Oh, it sounds so weird. And JonTron's like, what?
Yeah, it's intercut with JonTron.
What the fuck? I love JonTron. He's great. Oh, man. So let's talk about an event that happened yesterday, a world event that kind of shook
Oh yeah,
the world.
The Notre Dame Cathedral.
The Notre
Got
Dame
burnt down.
Cathedral caught fire and
When it burned down,
didn't
but took a lot of damage.
took a lot of damage. It didn't quite burn down. I mean, most of it's like really bad. But
the building's still
the main
up.
cathedral, like the main part's fine. They're going to clean that up, but the
tower.
steeple and the tower, yeah, it's gone. So that was I was listening to or just heard the news today, and I was like, oh
Yeah, that was all over Reddit yesterday.
yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. And the thing that I follow Glenn Beck on social media. He's what do you call it? He's political idealist, I guess. He's got a talk show and he has opinions and stuff. And he was just talking about how when the steeple fell, it really kind of reminded him of 9/11. A lot of people thought back,
Yep, that's the first news article that comes up when you Google Glenn Beck.
Yeah, that was the first thing that he thought of, was that looks a lot like 9/11. And we were in that situation. The world was feeling for us, like this is a tragedy that happened, and now we're kind of feeling for France in this situation. It's weird to see the tides change, but yeah, that cathedral's like 400 years old.
Yeah, or older, and
Yeah. And
people were freaking out for a while because there were some like priceless stained glass things.
yeah, that, and there was
earlier today it was confirmed that they didn't get damaged.
Yeah.
And that they're fine.
That and the supposedly this is supposedly Glenn Beck was talking about it too, that the crown of thorns that was on Jesus's head was in there, as well as a yeah. See, we'll get there. As well as a cross that was like from that era, and so not like a full size cross, of course, but and Glenn Beck kind of laughed. He said, "They say it's the crown of thorns. It's from that era." And he's like, how does somebody from that time keep track of an item like that? I mean, you wouldn't really be able to keep track of it. It's not like, it was just kept. It was, so the crown of thorns, supposedly, as they say. But anyway, it was a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's this entire,
What caused it?
they believe, because the building was under construction, and they believe it was some electrical at the moment, but they don't know. Yeah, no idea. What's scary is over in France, there were a lot of cathedrals actually being burned down, like churches and stuff being burned. And Glenn Beck talked about that too, is like, they don't think it was targeted. They think it's electrical, but you can't keep that option out of mind because it's been happening as of recently. So they're still under investigation on how it actually happened. but they're thinking it's electrical. So it sucks. I mean, there goes 400 years of history. Just, they're going to have to try and preserve as much as they can, but that's a lot of history just gone, so.
Oh, I'm reading stuff about it being a terror attack.
That's the other thing, is people thinking, that's where I was saying the churches were being burned because of terrorists. Terrorists don't like the churches and whatever. That's why they suspect it could be, but I don't know. It's in the possibilities. We're not, Glenn Beck said, we're not going to kick it out of the possibilities. It is definitely a possibility, but he's, it's probably an electrical problem due to the fact that it was under construction, but it could be. So, yeah, that's rough. That's rough for the people of France. That's such a huge. It's like burning the White House in America, really, for them.
Yeah.
It's like
almost like.
Well, that's been a symbol.
Yeah, but the White House is like literally the White House has already been burned down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like back in the war of
wasn't that Jackson?
No, it was Adams.
Adams.
In the war of. Okay. No, it wasn't Adams. I
wanted to say it was Andrew Jackson. But...
No, I think it was the guy after him in the War of 1812.
Lincoln.
D.C. No.
No.
No. Let me look up the War of 1812.
Who was the president? I don't know. I thought Lincoln was the...
No, Lincoln was the president during the Civil War. Well, yeah. 60s. 1860s is when he was president.
Okay.
The 1960s.
1960, yeah. Lincoln. Yeah. The where was I going with that? I don't know. But yeah, it's like burning one of our biggest national monuments, which, it's to them, it's one of the biggest.
It would be like somebody vandalizing Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of on par with that.
That's a good equivalent. Yeah. So, so we're going to move on to the topic of today's discussion, which is time. As these guys came in today, I was playing the song "Time" by Pink Floyd, and
president during the War of 1812 was James Madison.
Madison. Okay.
He had to flee the White House, and his wife saved a famous painting of George Washington, I believe.
Wow.
Is the story. I mean, it probably happened, but
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Not that the White House burned down, but
a painting got out.
But a painting got saved.
It was. I mean, we had been in. I was gonna say the United States had been a nation for what?
What, like
8 plus
18?
8 plus 8 plus 4.
What, 50?
Not even that.
Years?
Not even
no?
that. 8 like 1780.
76 to no, it would be 1780, like
1789 to 1812. So 25 years, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so
that's pretty young for a country.
It is.
Especially in that day where
yeah,
coming from most of Europe who has been, multiple centuries old at that point.
Yeah.
Except for Europe switched itself around during the World Wars, which is interesting to look back on. Like a map of Europe 100 years ago looks completely different than one of today.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about time. Time is, we never have enough time, and I will tell you the story that happened today. It is, and that's why I was talking about time today, is because today at work, right? I get to work. Things go okay till I have to leave work because I had to come to town to pay my car insurance, which is due today. And I'm freaking out because we had to load stuff because we're going up north. We're going to do a big project up there this week. And so we're loading all the tools, and I look down at my watch, and I've got like 20 minutes to get to town. And I'm clear out there where it takes about 20 minutes just cruising, at your normal speed. But I was in a hurry and I was freaking out, and we still hadn't had everything loaded in the truck yet. I just kept watching my watch. Wow. Watching the clock. There you go. And I was freaking out. So I didn't make it. Didn't get my car insurance paid, but tomorrow.
Oof.
Tomorrow, hopefully. But it's funny how like time. There's I don't know. Time is
Can't
a
you
weird
send that
concept.
in the mail?
You can, but I don't. I always pay it.
You should.
I always pay it up front, the day of. Like just because
You
it's
might.
easier.
I mean, you might want to start doing that just so you don't miss another payment again.
Yeah, I do it up front, and it's a lot easier that way because it's just I don't know. Doing it on a card versus paper is much simpler. I don't have to fill out that entire sheet of garbage. They just type it in, my card, boom, done. I'm out of there and home.
Yeah.
So, anyway, and you can do it online. I just haven't gotten everything
Yeah, that would be
set
smart
up.
too.
That would be way simpler, but it just time is such like if you could so this is where we're going. If you could go to any period of the American history or the world, a time period, what would it be?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't, and why?
Let me see if I have a graph. Let me see if I can find it on Google Images without having to look up the video.
I will go into my explanation.
Life
Um,
graph.
and the main thing is I think people were better back in the day.
This graph.
History of what?
Can I?
No,
full
Google
screen this?
doesn't like you.
Okay, fine. We'll do it this way. Save the image. My pictures.
19,
This
I
graph.
believe it was the 20s.
Quality of life by time.
Yeah,
That is why. The quality
Well,
of life is the highest it has ever been in history, so I wouldn't go back.
okay, but you're missing out on
On-
not physically health wise, of course, but on the other side of that, you're missing out on like the 1920s, like in
you
that
kidding me?
that time period. Yeah, baseball was huge, just starting to become like one of the biggest sports of all time. Babe Ruth was doing his thing. You had people were better, in my opinion. Like I was watching a show,
meat products were gross and not
Yeah.
sanitary in the 1920s.
Well, no,
So-
don't focus on health. I'm talking about people on a people
in
scale
sense.
and the quality. Just people
in the
quality.
in the 1920s, I believe alcohol was prohibited.
yes,
It was.
yeah. So, but
Go to one of the speakeasies. You could
Yeah.
still drink.
Yeah.
the bootleggers and all the
Yeah, I don't know.
moonshiners were
I don't
a
know
thing.
about gang wars, man.
I'm talking about people though. People were better. We respected women. Women had a respect for men. There was all men. Okay, I watched this show, right? And this is how the times were. As a woman walked in the door, every guy in the room stood up, took their hat off, and like acknowledged that she was in the room. There was a higher respect for each other. A handshake meant something.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
I get where you're coming from.
a business deal. There was
Do you know where handshakes came from?
no.
Well, the idea is that you were presenting your sword hand as not
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
as
think,
not wielding your sword.
Yeah, I think that
So
was
that goes back to medieval times,
medieval times. But it was like
which is why you typically do it with your right hand,
yeah,
because most
unless
people
you're a scout,
right. Well, right.
which is so weird. And
Not that that matters anymore.
no, not anymore. Poor kids. Enjoy getting butt fucked, you dumb shits. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa. Okay, you want to calm down there, buddy? It's a bold assumption to make.
Yeah. It's after the church, the LDS church left scouting. It is now a
Well, I
complete,
mean, multiple churches drop support. Of,
Yeah,
of
it is
the
a
Boy Scouts.
complete.
And didn't they drop boy in the name?
Yeah,
Boy
no,
Scouts?
it's just the Scouts.
The Scouts of America.
And I'm like,
I mean,
oh my gosh.
What's funny is that I was looking back at my tweets forever ago, like a week ago or so, and I tweeted something like 6 months ago that said, "I can guarantee by the year 2020 the Boy Scouts of America won't exist." Turns out I was right.
The Boy Scouts of America does not exist. The Scouts of America.
Called it. You're welcome, Twitter.
It's crazy. Now they're letting in the gays and to be the leaders of the, it is not what.
Well, plus they're letting girls be scouts.
Yeah.
Wasn't there already a Girl Scout?
There was a Girl
There is.
Scouts
There still is a
Association.
Girl Scouts.
I thought they merged, but
I wasn't aware of that. Maybe they
I'll
did.
have to look into that. But
I hope
they,
not, because that means they're just called the Scout Cookies now.
yeah, yeah, those are good, but they're expensive.
Well, yeah, because you're not only
They're like $8 a box.
yeah, not only are you paying for cookies, but you're basically paying for their yearly budget.
Pretty much. Where was I going? Oh, the time. Back to
Yeah,
the
sorry
quality
to detract, but
the quality of the human being the respect was way higher. And nowadays, like if a girl that standardly would wear capris and a short, tank top, that's like
capris and a tank top.
sure, or a t-shirt, capris and a
Okay,
t-shirt.
there you go.
I don't know how women dress. I'm not.
It's not capris and a tank top. I can tell you that much. I mean, I'm happy to be wrong
maybe
about
not
that,
here.
but I just
yeah, maybe not.
maybe not
but
here. Who would though?
California, probably. It's
No,
hot down there.
they always wear shorts though. Like
yeah, shorts.
capris.
But okay, let's go
I
with
don't know.
shorts.
I don't know. Shorts and a
The
tank
booty
top.
shorts, those
Yes.
are those are common now. And if you seen that in the 1920s, you think she was a hoe, that's I don't know, a respect for
I don't know.
like-
Society's been normalized to a lack of clothing.
and it's our moral standards have just dropped.
Yeah.
That's basically the difference between the 1920s and now is our moral standards have gone out the window. It's I don't know. That's why I think I would go back to that time. Cars would have sucked. You can only go like 30 miles an hour.
Hey, but jazz was popular.
Jazz was, I would have enjoyed that. That would have been cool.
Jazz was shaping the way bands are structured as we know it today.
Yeah. Jazz is great. Frank Sinatra came on the radio today. My boss was playing the oldies station at work, and I was like singing every line. It was great. I like Frank Sinatra. Anyway, time period, Colin. If you could visit any time period.
I'd probably go to either like the 80s or 90s, right before cell phones were a huge thing.
Yeah.
So you could just kind of talk to people more.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Human interaction is like, my boss was talking about it today because I got my new phone and we were talking about my phone. He was like, we were talking, I don't even know how the conversation got there, but human interaction, when he was a kid, you had landlines, you had group, on the phone.
Oh yeah, you can like
Everybody-
call, everybody could be on the same line.
And then, then everybody would go to a place with their cars and they'd hang out with their girls. That was how they interacted. Nowadays, everybody's just in a chat room on Facebook,
That's not always a terrible thing.
no.
But if nobody's like, I don't know, it's weird to think about it contextually because back in the day, people had to go somewhere to do nothing, and
Yeah.
now we can all just do nothing at home.
Yeah.
So like, and again, it's not always used that way. Like some people will do that and like all play a video game together or
Right. Yeah.
watch a TV show together. So
Well, video games were popular till 80s. Really,
yeah,
kind of took off in the 80s.
well they were popular.
Arcade games were.
Yeah, arcade games were popular in like the late 70s
Yeah.
and early 80s. And video games were really popular and then weren't and then were again.
Yeah. Kind
In
of
the 80s.
started 88 was the year that
Well, yeah.
kind of took off. Thank you, Nintendo.
Well, yeah. Luckily, Nintendo brought the United States out of the crash of 83,
yeah.
as it's known, because
There was
too
yeah.
many bad games.
Yeah.
Development time for those were 6 weeks.
yeah,
Can you imagine
a game.
developing a game in 6 weeks and trying to sell it for $60?
Yeah.
not gonna go well in
Ain't
today's
going.
market.
Nope. Oh, that would be funny, but awful. That would be such a bad.
No one would buy a $60 game that was developed in 6 weeks.
That would be such a bad game. Well, I can't say that because I mean, PewDiePie's team built a game, just a platformer game that about 8 weeks and released it. It was actually pretty fun. I
Right,
played
but not
it,
for $60.
No,
That's
it
my
was like
point.
35 or something to buy it. You could play the demo, but it was all right. It was fun. But then again, it was like it wasn't a full game as we know today. You know, like
Yeah,
it was just a short.
it's
little,
weird. It's weird to think that $60 is
The standard.
actually the industry standard, and
Yeah.
there's laws that keep it at that price in the United States at least. It's gross.
Well-
it's grossly inflated in like Australia, which I didn't know about.
Yeah,
But
they can raise it to 70 if it's brand new. I mean, if it's brand new, I've seen them go for $69.99. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 opening day, $69.99.
Now it's 15.
Yeah, now it's $15.
yeah, because there's so much DLC for it that
Yeah.
more than half of the game is in the DLC now.
Yeah. So
There's no single player DLC though.
yeah, there isn't.
No, it's yeah, it's just because multiplayer was and kind of still is hugely popular with Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto 5.
It's fun. But where was I going with that?
Time periods.
Time periods.
I suppose if we're just going for a visit and we're not staying permanently,
You can see Jordan in there. He's all uncomfortable. He's like, "Help!
well, I mean, let's.
Cancer! I have cancer. You're just breathing air. Cancer!"
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, let's pay like the 70s or 80s a visit to hear some good live music.
Oh yeah, cheap tickets, bro. You'd pay
Cheaper
like
tickets.
$10.
Yeah.
$10 for a Bon Jovi ticket was what my mom said in the 80s. You know,
I
like
mean, adjusted for inflation.
yeah, that was different. My dad's seen AC/DC for like $15 in Salt Lake.
Well, a simpler time.
Simpler time, man. That's great. The 70s would have been cool just because of the music was booming.
Dude,
Like,
the clothes,
the
too.
clothes. The clothes and the music were
And
booming.
the hair, man.
Like everything was. I'm not kidding. Like the clothes were all like poofy. The hair was poofy. Music was poofy. You know.
If you want to see some really good outfits, don't go to the 80s.
Yeah.
No, go to the 90s for that.
90s.
Yeah.
90s wasn't the worst style. That was the like punk generation, I think.
Yeah,
was
no,
when-
the turn of the century was like when the midriff trend, where like that was the sexy thing to do.
yeah.
Like freaking Britney Spears.
That dynamic of that's such a weird, like, I don't know how to put it. And it was like the 90s kind of cruised into that punk era and rock started declining as a quality of music.
I mean, rock has always been about like breaking the norm. So it
Yeah.
only makes sense that it went out of its own style
I
and
guess.
split and fractured into different stuff
Yeah.
and just went more and more extreme and kind of still does.
Yeah. The most modern artist that I can really relate in as 70s through 80s into 90s rock that sound a modern band that sounds like the old stuff would be just why can't I even think of it. They play Highway Song. Do you know the group I'm talking about?
I know
They
the-
sound like Led Zeppelin. They sound so much like Led Zeppelin.
I
I think you showed that song to me
yeah,
Uh,
I think you did to me as well. I don't remember
who
or
sings
what.
it? It's such a weird name. A Highway Song. No, it's Highway Tune by Greta Van Fleet.
before.
That's
Van
the
Fleet?
one.
I
Yeah,
know them.
they sound so much like Led Zeppelin, and it is awesome. Because they're modern. They have those modern sounds, but then it's so deeply rooted in that older style that it's very much like that older style, and I like it because they're popular. They're still, they're popular. They actually won 3 Grammys, so way to go.
Good for them.
So yeah, that's if you could visit any like gaming time period.
Still the 90s.
Still the 90s?
Yeah, the 90s
Yeah, it
had
was
Crash
alright.
Bandicoot.
Yeah. I love the gaming industry right now. There's so many options. There's so many options now.
I would like to, as an adult, go back to maybe the early 2000s to experience some of the big single-player releases of the time,
Oh yeah.
like BioShock and a handful of others.
Yeah.
Like I would have liked to experience the beginnings of that sort of
Beginnings.
renaissance of first-person shooters,
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
and like to experience Portal
Yeah, Portal.
before
yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been weird. It's cool to think of like how far in just a few years we've come along the gaming lines. Like, it's crazy. Another thing that like with my new phone, got a new phone. It's Samsung. I usually don't like Samsung. Never, because I'm dumb and I like dumb phones. So I went with Apple because they're simple. Samsung has a new feature with the what is it called? The S9 and the 10. They have wireless charging. You can stick it on another phone and they'll charge. They also have information. So if you want to send your contact info, you just tap the other guy's phone and your contact info's in his
technically,
phone.
you've been able to do that through Bluetooth for
Really?
a while.
Oh, well.
Yeah, like
AirDrop.
Yeah,
AirDrop, huh?
AirDrop has been a
Okay,
thing for a
yeah.
long time.
AirDrop. But just tapping the phone.
Well,
You
yeah,
don't even
no,
pull
that
up
is-
anything. You just tap the phone and it's your contacts.
Yeah,
It's cool because it's like,
I think there's a bit of like infrared thrown in with it because
yeah,
Nintendo toyed with that for like the DS, where like you could connect two DSs. You didn't have to use a cord like you did with Game Boy.
The room from each other.
Yeah, you just had to be like in the same room, and
Yeah,
they would infrared with each other, and you could trade Pokemon.
yeah, that was a fun time. I did that once with Nathan. Yeah, so the DSs were such a big thing when I was a kid. They were huge, and now kids, like. I want the Fine Brothers to do like a reaction of kids, like they drop them a DS and be like, "What's
Oh
that?"
yeah, like young kids.
yeah, young
To
kids.
give them a DS.
Yeah, what's this? How do I work it?
Like, oh, this is a small 3DS. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if they
Puny
know.
human.
I mean, the DS is
Well,
on its way of dying out. I shouldn't say it's dying
yeah,
out. but it's
Nintendo is
not.
slowly killing the 3DS because they don't need it because they have the Switch.
Yeah. So
And much more expensive, but almost equally as portable,
yeah,
but
but
runs
so much better.
better games.
Yeah. So
I mean, it is baffling to think about the fact that like you can play Skyrim on an airplane.
yeah.
Like, I mean, that was one of their first commercial. Wow. One of their first commercials when they were like announcing the Switch was like they showed a demo, a working demo of Skyrim, and like some dude just took it on a plane with him.
Yeah.
Like that's really like if you had told someone 5 years ago that Nintendo was going to make a console that could play Skyrim on an airplane, you would be laughed at.
Yeah, because the most portable a console's ever been for me was the Xbox 360e, which is that one over there.
I mean,
I took
if you
it.
think about
I
the
threw it.
GameCube had a handle on the back of it,
Yeah,
and it
I-
was small enough that you could carry it.
yeah.
To be fair.
I threw that, throw that in my backpack. It's about the size of a heavy book at high school. So I threw that in my backpack and we'd go on trips. And I think Cohen was there. Yeah, Cohen was there. Was it Drama? I don't remember.
Didn't we play like GTA?
Yeah, we were playing GTA. We played some Call of Duty. This would have been my senior year, so you weren't there. But we grabbed this TV. The TV was mounted to the wall, and Josh and I grabbed the TV and it was a flexible mount, but we moved it, and then the mounts were covered. The HDMI mounts were covered by the mount itself.
Mm-hmm.
Josh is like, I got something for this. Pulls out screwdrivers and all kinds of stuff out of his bag. I'm like, why do you?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all because I mean this is the kid that brought knives into Disneyland by accident.
Yeah. So he unscrews the corner of the mount and then opens the TV. Here's the next thing. This TV was built so stupid because there was a little like plastic ridge that it wouldn't let the HDMI that I had fit in there. It had to be a thinner plastic HDMI. So I had to shim down, and that's the green one that's over there. I think I'll show you later, but I had to shim down the HDMI to get it in there. And
That's funny.
we finally got it in there, and we were playing it till like 2 a.m. But
Yeah. We were there playing just like GTA, Call of Duty, and I didn't know where Josh was. And there was Efren playing he brought a laptop and was playing Steam games.
yeah. And then this is a funny moment. Cohen ran into the wall. You didn't have your glasses on, and I was wondering,
What?
Cohen was walking around the room and smacked into the wall. Oh, and this is I quote, "Oh, there's a wall there." No shit, Cohen, you just ran into the damn thing. Where are your glasses? Like,
I'm not even that blind.
I mean, I don't know. I think he was just hyped up on caffeine or something. I don't know.
Can you explain yourself?
I don't know. Yeah, no. There was a wall and I ran into it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
It was so weird. Josh and I and Efren were like, "What just happened? Huh?" We were like Steve Harvey. Huh? Naked grandma. Huh? Oh, man.
That show has not gotten better over the years.
No, it hasn't. But, it's had its funny moments for sure. But,
Yeah.
oh, man. That was a fun time. Yeah.
I think that was drama.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because you brought a couple of guitars too.
Yeah. And I performed on stage in front of 400 plus kids by myself. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, they had an open stage with the mic on the stage. You remember that? They started playing music. I went up there, started dancing. I started telling jokes. It was great. Started
yeah,
doing
you told me about
karaoke.
that.
Yeah, Mr. Shields was dying. He was like, "I don't know you. I leave right now." Because once I started dancing to "Call Me Maybe" and doing the entire dance routine, everyone was like, "Yeah!" And Mr. Shields was like, "I'm done. I'm out of here."
That's something I would do.
And then Frozen. Oh, okay. That's when I danced the entire, like, Let It Go. I did the entire thing. I knew the dance moves. I did everything in front of 400 students. So, yeah, that was a fun time. I would do it again. If I had to
do you
do it.
guys remember the time when we did like a frick, what was it? A lip sync battle in band?
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember Cohen picked an instrumental.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my idea, huh? That was my
I
idea.
don't remember. But
Yeah,
like,
because I wanted to do it because it was like our graduation and or no, it was
no,
yours.
because I was there.
Yeah, it was like the party for the last day, and I was like, we got to do, a lip sync, and you picked an instrumental
Yeah.
from
And so you're
Metallica.
standing there and you keep like raising the mic and not saying anything, and eventually we're like, "Are there lyrics?"
No.
No, this is an instrumental.
It's funny. I remember we gave it scores out of 10.
Yeah,
And most people were getting in the 20s overall. You got a 6.
yeah.
I gave you 4 points. Karsten gave you 2.
I was confused. I think I gave you 2 as well. I was like, what?
Or maybe it was
instrumental?
Karsten that gave you 0.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good times. Good
I
times.
know it was Karsten who was mad that I picked an instrument.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he gave you 0.
Good times. We should do that again.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right. Well, this has been a good episode.
Yeah.
We talked about a variety of things today. So, we are coming up on the 50th episode. This is episode 58.
48.
So 48. Why did I say 58? You said probably because you said
Because I
58.
said it, yeah. My bad.
This is episode 48 we're almost to 50. The 50th episode Jordan is working on at the moment. It's going to be a compilation of all the kind of funny moments we had throughout this series of episodes. So, yeah, thank you all for being here. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you, Cohen. Chase thank him. I don't know if he'll listen to this, but thanks, buddy. And did you plug our social media? You
Yeah, I did at the
start. So,
we don't have to do it again.
We don't have to do it again. All right. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you in the next episode.